A ticket counter at a regional airport sold me a ticket to nowhere. The counter was empty, the fluorescent lights buzzing like trapped flies. I was 29 years old, working the overnight shift at a printing press that churned out phone books nobody wanted anymore. My job was to feed paper into a machine that smelled like hot ink and burn my fingertips through cotton gloves. My car was a 1985 Ford LTD with a bench seat split by a cigarette burn from the previous owner. I had saved $2,200 over 3 years of 12-hour shifts, eating bologna sandwiches and drinking coffee from a thermos with a cracked lid. The airline was called Midway, a discount carrier that flew from Chicago to Florida for $49 one way. The stock traded at 10 cents per share in May 2001. I learned about the company from a classified ad in a newspaper, a small box that said airline stock potential rebound. I deposited a cashier's check into a brokerage account I had opened the week before. I bought 20,000 shares at 10 cents, spending $2,000. The transaction confirmed at 2:37 a.m., just as the press jammed and sprayed black dust across my safety glasses. I wiped the lenses with a rag stained with ink. I planned to hold until the shares reached 50 cents. I never saw September. The phone rang at 7:14 a.m. on September 11th. My sister, a dispatcher for a taxi fleet, told me to turn on the television. Her voice was thin. I walked to the break room, where a 13-inch screen sat on a metal stand. I watched the second tower collapse from a couch that sagged in the middle. The news reported all flights grounded indefinitely. The stock market closed. Midway Airlines filed for bankruptcy on September 12th. The stock did not open. It never reopened. The shares became worthless. My $2,000 evaporated before I could click a single button. I sat in my car in the employee parking lot, the Ford LTD's engine off, a flock of starlings landing on the power lines above. I didn't cry. I just watched the birds. I still have the trade confirmation somewhere in a shoebox under my bed. A piece of paper that says I own 20,000 shares of nothing. The printing press closed in 2003. The phone book business died. I found work at a warehouse that stored pallets of bottled water for FEMA. My job was to wrap shrink film around cases of Dasani. The shrink wrap smelled like hot plastic. I wore the same safety glasses, now scratched. Every time I see an airplane contrail, I remember that ticket counter and a decision that made sense before the world changed. The Ford LTD was donated to a charity years ago. The bench seat tear is probably still there. I'm not a normal person. A normal person would have kept their money in a mattress. I gambled on an industry that 2 men with box cutters destroyed. Watch the next story while you're still not normal.